if Rampart and Symmetra met, would they get along?
You know,
what would they do
I
together?
think it's either going to go great or horrible. It's one or the other.
And now with Rampart, but Rampart is such an interesting, different sidestep.
Oh, yeah,
to
they are
Symmetra.
Diametric opposites. They are completely different women.
But talk about fun, though.
So much fun. And if I'm being honest with myself, as much as I want to be like Symmetra and elegant and beautiful and all that, I'm much more like Rampart, who is basically me with an Indian accent, or a British Indian accent. She's a little gal with a ponytail and a big gun who is got no filter, completely irreverent, but is, you knock her down, she's going to get back up again. And one of the things I also love about her in the context of Apex Legends is that it doesn't feel like she has a deep, dark, tragic background that we know of yet. So any kind of adversity that she has experienced has only gone into making her just tougher. We're not watching her haunted by her past. And at that point, at least, it felt like most of the characters did have some story that was really, really painful that had driven them to become the people that they were. And much like Overwatch, where you see how these people are the product of their past, with Symmetra, one of the things that I find so inspirational about her is that she took her upbringing and her past and the difficulties that she was experiencing and used them as an impetus to create a better world, to make the world a better place, to use her powers for what she believed was good, whether or not that was accurate, whether or not she's with the right company, whatever.
They're honest to herself.
Same thing with Rampart. She is just this scrappy little gal, and I love that her primary way of communication is taking the piss out of people. It's so refreshing. It's so it creates so much levity in a really potentially dark and scary universe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love that about her.
Hey, thank you so much for checking into this episode of The Games That Made Me. We're a small channel working hard to grow, and we love your support. If you could hit that subscribe button and give us a like, we'd really appreciate it. The more support we have from you all, the bigger the guests we can get on the show. Now, back to the episode. For you, what was it like creating this high energy voice for Rampart? Just literally
give me a cup of coffee and put on my tennis shoes and go. That was pretty much it. The only thing that we really needed to fine tune together was kind of the specificity of the accent and how much we would want her to sound Indian versus a little bit of British and a little, because she speaks in a lot of Cockney slang. So how much of both of those things are we going to put together? But also, this is a futuristic game that's not set in the present time. So she's not going to sound like anyone that we think of, that we are seeing in our current world. So that we definitely fine-tuned based on what they had wanted to hear and what they wanted her to be.
It's
but
just Rampart accent. It's just
what
accent is it? It's Rampart.
It's Rampart. It's Rampart. But yeah, her lines are just fun. And I'm so grateful that, because I say dope a lot. And my best friend, who's also in Overwatch, Carolina, she had been like, oh God, they got to put that in the game as Symmetra. I'm like, the chances of Symmetra saying dope are very limited. But then Rampart shows up and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this chick is going to end up saying dope. And sure enough, she did. So I appreciate that they
let
threw
you
that in there.
Let you work on your dope, vernacular.
My dream, my dope dream, which sounds a little weird given the other potential definitions of the word dope. But I will say one thing that I'm also grateful that they kept in is the laugh that she has, because 9 times out of 10, it was me laughing at myself as Rampart saying the joke. So it was genuine laughter of I just said something funny. It's just this little thing that I also do in real life. And I'm very grateful that that's a part of her. And the facial capture too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. With facial capture. So was this one of the first times that you did facial capture?
It was. And also, this was during lockdown. We started it before COVID hit, But she was going to come out in August 2020. That was the schedule. And I think it was August, September. So we had to keep going. And they sent a rig to our house and talked me through putting it together and putting it on. And my husband had to put the little dots on my face for them to be able to track things. And I ran around the house and ran around our tiny little studio in the house, ran around pretending to jump off planes and all sorts of stuff. And boy, is that proof of where there's a will, there's a way. Because the fact that they made that happen during those circumstances, so cool. So cool that they did, and so necessary, because we needed games. We needed them not just for the break from what was happening in the real world, but for the connection that we could have with people around the world, or even down the street if we couldn't see them at the time. So yeah, that was the first time I did, well, certainly the first and probably only time I did facial capture at home. But who knows, many more years of my life, I hope. So it's entirely possible it'll happen again.
So, I mean, what you did with Overwatch really helped with Apex, did you feel?
I mean, it certainly helped in the sense that I now had the experience of doing video games and like voicing this kind of game. Yeah, and voicing this kind of game where you go in the session and there's a slew of lines and you're going to do 3 of each. And if they want more, they'll have you do it again. But your context is basically what they are telling you in the moment is happening. So again, cold reading and not getting a chance to act with other actors or even with recordings of other actors, because your lines are triggered by other people's so many other lines and so much other action. So really just kind of self-generating that with the guidance of the team that's on Zoom or that's at the studio with you, that experience definitely helped.
We were wondering if Rampart and Symmetra met, would they get along? What would they do together?
I think it's either going to go great or horrible. It's one or the other.
Match made in hell, match made in heaven.
Yeah, because they could be very complementary in the sense that maybe like Rampart could get Symmetra to loosen up a bunch, and Symmetra could maybe make Rampart a little bit
polish.
Yeah, like give her a way that she could sort of like, you don't have to turn it off all the time, but if you go into this situation, you might want to tone it down a little bit. And they would have, I think, very complementary kits and abilities and all of that. But, or Rampart could drive Symmetra crazy. And it would be that direction. It wouldn't be Symmetra driving Rampart crazy, because Rampart would just be like unflappable in that situation of like, oh no, I'm gonna mess with this chick. But yeah, it's much like opposites potentially attract in relationships or not. I feel like it would be the rom-com. That's what it would be. I've just decided. It's gonna be like a normal rom-com where they have the meet cute, where they hate each other, and then all of a sudden they fall in love with each other, but they wouldn't necessarily. Well, they could fall in love with each other. Who else? But like, and then they become friends.
Love this.
I feel like, yeah.
In the spirit of collaboration, let's get this going.
It's a rom-com. Okay, companies, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get that in the world.
Yeah. Would love that.
We got Auntie Marvel to make, and we've got this meet cute rom-com to make with Rampart and Symmetra. Let's do it.